Good afternoon from London. It's a bright, sunny June afternoon here in London. And a hello to all dear comrades, friends, and supporters from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, and the official delegate of KFA for the UK, the and president of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics UK, and the owner of this very self-same channel, Songun 007, the voice of Songun and Juche in the UK, defending people's career with no ifs or buts. Now, normally, I do not comment on matters of domestic policy within the UK, or very rarely do I do. But as a hot topic here in the UK is the general election, I thought I would make a few remarks on the subject of genuine people's democracy in people's career versus fake bourgeois democracy in the UK. Now, I'm not here to recommend or endorse any party standing in the general election, or indeed whether people should even bother to vote at all. I will leave it up to yourselves to decide if you're going to vote for a particular party, or if you're even going to bother putting a little cross on a piece of paper. Instead, I'm just going to talk about the subject of the superiority of the popular electoral system in people's career over the fake system that we have here. And I think the thing to bear in mind, the most significant fact, is that in Britain and other capitalist countries, we don't have real democracy at all. It's fake. It's bourgeois democracy. The decisions are not actually made by elected officials. They are made behind closed doors, and people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, and so on, have far more power than any elected government in a capitalist country. And it's a sort of facade that we put a little cross on a piece of paper every 5 years. It's to fool people, basically. And it's to promote a myth that the system is democratic when it's not, and that countries like the DPRK are supposedly undemocratic. So, I mean, let's look at a few facts. In people's career, everyone over the age of 17 has the right to elect and to be elected. In Britain, it's still 18. In the DPRK, the Supreme People's Assembly is elected by direct, universal, and equal suffrage, and in turn, the Supreme People's Assembly elects the State Affairs Commission and the cabinet of the DPRK, and also Marshal Kim Jong-un himself is elected by the Supreme People's Assembly and is directly accountable to the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK. Let's look at elections in capitalist countries. In the USA, the winning candidate, Sleepy Joe Biden, got 81 million votes out of a total of 239 people eligible to vote. And as I'm sure US viewers to this channel are going to point out to me very quickly, in the US, a lot of people are excluded from voting. For instance, black people in some states of the US are still excluded from voting. Obviously, the many homeless people in the US cannot vote. I mean, same with Britain, the homeless people cannot vote. This means, in fact, that the US actually fails its own definition of democracy. In so-called democracy, those who do not vote for the winning party are anyway effectively disenfranchised and marginalised. If the party you vote for doesn't win, well, that's the end of it. You know, you're rubbish. Your views do not count. People's Korea does indeed have a different system to bourgeois democracy in the West, which is better described as a plutocracy rather than a democracy. It is a people's democracy, a socialist democracy, a proletarian democracy. In capitalist countries such as Britain, wealth is concentrated in the hands of a minority, 1% of the population. The 1% can obviously use their economic power to control the political process. And indeed, it has been said that elections under bourgeois democracy enable the smallest number of people to manipulate the biggest number of votes. In the DPRK, candidates are chosen by mass meetings of electors first, rather than a small clique of people putting forward a candidate for endorsement. No one who does not have the support of the people can come forward as a candidate. It's as simple as that. On election day, voters either approve or vote against the candidate. The mainstream media assert there's no choice in DPRK elections, but what real choice is there in many capitalist countries where often all the parties support capitalism, all the parties are basically right-wing to a greater or lesser extent? Real elections in capitalist countries are about deciding who is going to fiddle their expenses and vote themselves a big fat pay rise every year and more expenses. The salary for British Member of Parliament, and I stand open to correction to this, it might be more, is £81,000 per year. In People's Korea, ordinary workers, including street cleaners, are elected to the Supreme People's Assembly, something that would be impossible in a capitalist society. In the UK Parliament, there are no workers or poor people in the Parliament. That's a fact. It is all people from the privileged classes. In People's Korea, there is not only the Supreme People's Assembly, but also provincial and district People's Assemblies and People's Committees. Each block of flats is run by a People's Neighbourhood unit. And I would like to also quote from this excellent book written by our KFA president, Comrade Alejandro Caldebenos, which is called the Korea, the Songun Citadel. And he actually wrote as follows: the reality proves that the election in which democracy is artificially destroyed and the majority is artificially fabricated by money in power is an unavoidable disease of the capitalist political circle. But look into any ballot box in the DPR Korea, you cannot find any ballot smeared by money and power. The fact that all voters support the candidates means that the people have common trust and support for a candidate. Any End of quotation. So, thanks to the Juche Idea, the DPRK has a most advanced, superior, people-centered democracy. It is, in fact, the most democratic country in the world, and the UK general election is basically a sham, a facade, a clown show, really. If you've liked this video, please subscribe, and also to our affiliated channel, Korean Friendship Association of the UK. Please check out the publications that we have. There will be a link in the description. And we would ask for your support at our events. This is most important, sitting in a bedroom, camped out on Telegram or Twitter or Facebook all day is not going to effectively defend people's career with no ifs or buts. We need more people at our events. Some of them are online, so you don't have to worry about travelling in to London or elsewhere. And we've got quite a few coming up in the next few weeks. We're going to be picketing the Yankee Embassy on the 29th of June, and there'll be an online anti-US meeting, as well as an online meeting on an important work of Comrade Kim Jong-il. And of course, it is the 60th anniversary of the start of work of Comrade Kim Jong-il at the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea very soon. And lastly, you can donate to either KFA UK or myself. There'll be a link in the description. So I wish everyone a great day, and see you all again soon. Goodbye.